welcome to the Dolce Marketing Podcast, the show for visionary entrepreneurs ready to step up, upgrade their plan, and build the business and life they have truly dreamed of. I am your host, Heidi Niemi, and every week I share effective strategies that actually move the needle, systems that eliminate overwhelm, and insight to take you from clarity crisis to legendary legacy, one episode at a time. Let's get started. Have you noticed that people online just aren't buying like they used to? Even though you're showing up even more than before, you're posting, you're doing the webinars, you're sending the emails, you're making the offers, but something feels off. The conversions aren't there like they used to be. People are watching, maybe even engaging, but when it comes time to buy, it's hard. Now, if this sounds familiar, I want you to know that the problem is not you. It's not that your work or your offer isn't good enough. And it's certainly not that you're not good enough. It's not that you are not working hard enough. It's that we are now operating in what I called the trust economy. And the rules have fundamentally changed. In the last episode, I talked about how the online business market has shifted dramatically over the past few years. If you're experiencing any of the things I just described, go listen to that episode because it gives you a very good overview on the market we're operating on today and what has led to this situation. Today, I want to go deeper into one of the most important shifts, the collapse of trust and how to rebuild it. So, let's talk about what happened. Between 2020 and 2023, we saw an explosion of online courses and coaching programs. For obvious reasons, because brick and mortar businesses needed to temporarily shut down their businesses, so they brought their businesses online because that's where they moved. So that led to a situation where everyone and their grandmother launched something. And while many of these were legitimate, valuable offers, a lot of them were not. Scammers entered the market in droves. You know the type, the ones promising 6 figures in 6 weeks, passive income while you sleep, complete transformation with zero effort. They sold the dream, took the money, and delivered nothing but disappointment. Or worse, they delivered something so low quality that people felt cheated. I mean, we've all seen them. People who say that they've discovered how easy it is to make money online. And when you buy from them, you realize that you just turned out to be that easy money online without getting anything valuable in return, except an experience of being fooled and a teaching of never doing it again. And it wasn't just outright scam, even well-meaning entrepreneurs started overpromising and under-delivering. The hype culture of online marketing encouraged exaggerated claims. This will change your life. This is the only thing you need. Results guaranteed. People bought in, they invested hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars, and many of them were disappointed. So what happened? People got burned. They became skeptical. They started to question everything. And here's the thing, they absolutely should be more careful about who they trust with their money. Because when people realize that they have been scammed, they have to face a very unpleasant feeling, which is shame. They are embarrassed that they were fooled, and they will do anything to avoid that feeling again. And unfortunately, I know this from my own experience. I ran into this mine myself. I, having 10 plus years of experience from online marketing, bought a program worth something like 7,000 euros or so that promised to deliver Oh my God, I still feel shame when I even say this out loud. Okay, so it promised that everybody after the 12-week program will make 10K months after that. It was sold very aggressively over the phone, and the salesperson was calling me even when I was on a sick leave after my surgery. But the thing is that I trusted the entrepreneur behind this business, and I overlooked that all. You see how trust works? So when I entered the program, I immediately realized that there is nothing special here, nothing that I've seen before, no new strategies, no nothing. But I still trusted this entrepreneur at that point. And I thought that, okay, I want to give it a chance to see if it works. And I will just be teachable and I will execute everything. I will be committed and do what it takes. And maybe it will get me forward. So, 12 weeks, fast forward, when obviously it didn't, I felt fooled like never before. And when I gave feedback for this matter, my feedback was totally neglected. So I understood that I was the easy money on the internet and I was just a line on the Stripe report. And obviously, I took action accordingly. But this was a powerful teaching for me to understand what is really going on in the online world right now and what makes people cautious. Because even the entrepreneurs that you find trustworthy can do this. So people have every right to be cautious. Nobody wants to feel that shame of being an intelligent person who just fell into a fraud. And as equation, I have to say that I have also participated in amazing coaching programs that deliver true transformation and taught me skills that I can immediately execute in my work. Strategies that really move the needle. And most of all, the attitude of being in the front line and figuring out things out by yourself rather than following the example of others. This, for example, is what helped me create my own framework, the Dolce method, that I use to create the change in my clients' businesses. And that's what truly moves the needle. But so you see why, for those of us running legitimate businesses, this creates a challenge because now we're not just selling our offer, we're also fighting against the negative experiences our potential clients have had before they ever even found us. So the question is, how can you tell these apart and trust the right business and entrepreneurs? This is the question that everybody in the market, all of your clients are asking right now. So you need to be able to show that to them in all possible ways. On top of this, AI has entered the chat, literally. Now people can't even be sure if the content they are reading was written by a human or generated by a machine. They can't be sure if the testimonials are real. They cannot be sure if the person behind the brand is actually who they say they are. This has made people even more guarded, even more skeptical, even more hesitant to buy. And another thing that AI brings to the table is information. People don't need you for information anymore. They have AI to answer their questions. So it's not only information that can separate you from others and get the attention of your audience. You need much more than that to stand out. I'm not saying if AI is a good thing or a bad thing and how to use it in your business. That's another conversation. I'm not going in there today. But the fact is that AI is here and it has an effect on the coaching business and the market. So we cannot overlook it, but rather make it work to our advantage. This is actually one of my passion topics. So I'll be sure to record another episode just for this conversation. But for now, my message is AI has a huge effect on how the clients perceive the reliability of businesses right now. So make sure you're in integrity and open with it. Nobody assumes that you don't use AI in your business. I mean, Of course you do. I sure do. But how you use it is the question. And the key is people want human connection more than anything in this trust economy. So don't replace yourself with AI. Not your voice, not your face, not your message. AI can't replace none of that. And your clients, they want you. More of this in the upcoming episodes, I promise. So it's safe to say we are operating in a market where trust is in an all-time low. And if you don't understand this, you will keep wondering why your launches are flopping and why your sales efforts aren't converting. The old model was know, like, trust. Get people to know you, then they like you, then they trust you. And while that's still true, sure, that's no longer enough. In 2026, you need three things. You need proof, you need consistency, and you need integrity. Let me break this down for you. So, first, let's talk about proof. People don't believe claims anymore. They have heard too many empty promises. So, you need to show evidence. You need to show real testimonials from real people. Case studies with specific results, screenshots, numbers, tangible outcomes, video testimonials. They are super effective. And not just one or two testimonials buried somewhere in your sales page. You need to be consistently sharing proof across all of your platforms, in your emails, on your social media, in your podcast, like everywhere. When someone is considering buying from you, they're going to be looking for evidence that you can actually deliver what you promise. So make it easy for them to find that evidence. There's actually one buyer type that specifically looks for social proof and evidence when they're buying from you. So make sure that they find it easily. For me, that means that there are testimonials on every landing page that would possibly need it. This means client interviews on my podcast to showcase real transformations and wins on a deeper level. So stay tuned for that. And for example, all of my sales email series, they have at least one email dedicated to testimonials alone to show what kind of success other people have experienced. I may randomly drop testimonials also to other emails, but one email is always dedicated specially to showcase social proof. When you showcase testimonials, think of what kind of things your audience might still doubt before buying your offer. Like, what are their main objections? And use the testimonials from your clients that would answer those objections directly. The objections they're having is usually one of these. It's either about you, it's about themselves, or it's about your product. So make sure that you have testimonials that showcase you as the expert, that prove that you're the right person to guide them through the transformation that you're offering them, and also make sure that the testimonials show your clients that they can do it. Whether they have no previous experience, no time, no whatever they doubt. Showcase a testimonial from a client who had the exact same problem and was able to resolve it with your method. And the third is your product. So the real problem here isn't usually the features of your products per se so much as the real transformation that it delivers. So use testimonials that showcase why your product was better than anything else they tried. Using these three aspects of busting the objection through your testimonials are sure to make your conversions much higher in this trust economy. Make it your habit to ask for testimonials. You can do that in a video call, have a survey after your program, or you can ask it directly after a session. The best way is to ask for it when the delivery is still fresh and the client is feeling the transformation and is excited about it. For example, I had a 1-hour strategy power session with a client, and she was kind enough to write me her testimonial right after that. So she wrote me this. This session was one of the best things that I've done for my business in a long time. I had a strategy power session with Heidi, and oh my God, I am blown away. I've spent thousands of euros on accelerator programs. I have worked with a lot of different coaches, but this session was one of the best things I've done for my business in a long time. Not everyone can look at a business and immediately spot the gap. Heidi can. Her ability to analyze my business and point out something I was completely unaware of shocked me. I didn't even know that gaps like that existed. But once she explained it, it was so clear that I couldn't believe that I had missed it. I walked in feeling totally stuck. I've been working so hard and not getting results, and just had no idea why. I did not know what I needed to fix. Now I feel clear. I know exactly what to focus on next. I finally have direction, and I am genuinely excited like, wow, this is what I've been missing. Thank you so much, Heidi. If you're feeling stuck in your business, lacking direction, not sure what to prioritize next, or what's actually going to move the needle, I definitely recommend sitting down for a strategy power session with Heidi. So, this is real transformation after an hour session with me directly from my client. She wrote it right after our session together, and see what it does. First of all, it showcases me as the expert that showed her the missing piece she had missed. She stated that 1 hour session with me was actually more valuable than accelerator programs that are worth thousands of euros. She said she was totally stuck in her business and she walked out knowing exactly what she needed to do. This testimonial alone has all of the three aspects that I just mentioned. It busts the objection about me as an expert, about my product or method being the right solution, and about her moving from clarity crisis to complete clarity and clear next steps in just 1 hour. Wouldn't you feel more confident in buying a one-on-one power strategy session with me after reading this compared to not knowing how others have felt after it? I mean, this is the power of testimonials, and they are so important in today's trust economy. So please use them in your business. And if you want to feel unstuck in your business, I will drop the link to the Strategy Power Hour in the show notes. But if you don't have testimonials yet, I understand that can feel like a problem. But there's two things that you can do. First of all, you can use your own transformation stories. How did you create the change for yourself? Storytelling is a very powerful currency in the trust economy era. And another thing you might consider is to give your service or product for free in exchange for a testimonial. That way, you get to test your product, you get feedback, and you get testimonials that you can use. For me, I ask for testimonials right after each project or each session. I just drop them a link where they can write their experience and give me a review. Happy clients are happy to give testimonials. That's what I've learned. And then I have a low ticket offer that's actually worth 297 euros, but I sell it with 27 euros for a short campaign time. And the deal is this: they get to keep the content for 30 days, but if they give me a testimonial, they will get to keep it for life. This is also a great way to have the client actually consume the content of the course. So it's not only for me to get a testimonial, but it's also for them to make the transformation they bought this course for and not just pay and forget it. This request for testimonials is in my email automation that launches right after they buy. So it's a natural part of the Nurturance email series, and it's a totally automated system, but it's part of the system that brings value to them in other ways as well. So I recommend that you have a system for gathering your testimonials so that you will have them when you need them and you can consistently publish new ones. Second is consistency. So one of the fastest ways to lose trust is to disappear. You know those entrepreneurs who only show up when they're launching, who go silent for weeks or months and then suddenly flood your inbox because they have something to sell? That doesn't work anymore. People notice, and it feels manipulative. You feel like they only reach out to you when they want your money, and that's not a nice feeling. In the trust economy, you need to be consistently present, not just during launch season, but all the time. This doesn't mean that you need to post 5 times a day or burn yourself out on social media. What it means is you need a sustainable visibility strategy that keeps you in front of your audience regularly. Now, in my Dolce Société group advisory membership, I have a total content ecosystem that makes this easy for you. My Dolce Société members have an unfair advantage compared to others, where they get their whole year of strategic content mapped out with me at the end of each year. That means that we sit down together, we map out all of the launches, all of the weekly signature content, and social media posts for the entire year to come, so that they will have complete clarity on how they will be present and visible to their audience. Every piece of content has its strategic place in the whole content ecosystem. And what is more, they will also know how they will be making money next year on daily basis and on launches. Why I created this blueprint for my clients is because I know myself and I see in my clients how difficult it is to come up with social media when you don't have a strategic system for it. So I created one. It helps in so many ways. You'll have a consistent presence in all of your channels, and you'll have an easy system on how to create content around it. This way, not only is your presence consistent, but also your message is consistent. And this is the key to getting the attention of your audience and making them trust you. They need repetition, and when you're consistent through all of your platforms with the same message, you're being seen, heard, and perceived as the specialist and the thought leader in your genre. I personally have struggled a lot with my visibility. It's not because I don't have things to share, but it's because I have some trauma from over 10 years ago when I was heavily bullied online through my business. And that made me for a long time afraid of visibility. So being here in this podcast in front of you is actually a huge step for me that honestly I was procrastinating for years to take. But I am here now, and that means that I have understood the importance of consistent strategic visibility. And to me personally, it's more important than my fear. So when people see you showing up week after week, month after month, delivering value and being present, that is what builds trust. It shows that you're not just here to make a quick buck. You're here for the long game. You're actually here for them, to help them and guide them to do the transformation that you promised. And as a bridge to the next aspect, why I also finally decided to publish my podcast is that this is what I recommend to all my clients to do too. And if I wasn't doing it myself, how could I be in integrity with what I teach? So here I am, walking my talk, and honestly, I am super excited about this. So that brings us to the third aspect, which is integrity. And this is a huge one, and it's often overlooked. Integrity means doing what you say you will do. It means being honest in your marketing, and it means following the laws and ethical guidelines that exist to protect your clients. And yes, I am talking about things like GDPR, consumer protection laws, refund policies, honest promises, and transparent pricing. I know, not the sexiest topics, but here's the truth. When you operate with integrity, people feel it. They trust you more. In a market full of shady operations cutting corners and using manipulative tactics, being squeaky clean is actually a competitive advantage. I have seen this in my own business. I know most of my clients are business owners and they are international. But still, I have chosen to operate in all integrity and follow the EU consumer laws, even though I don't necessarily have to, and even though, honestly, it's a lot of extra work. In fact, I have just used 1 week of refining all of my offers and all of my checkouts and email automations so that they comply with all aspects of the law. That's a huge work because I have a lot of products. So I know that when I operate inside of European Union, if I get a consumer client, there are specific laws to follow. Because even though I serve businesses, some people may purchase my products as a consumer. So I follow these laws, even with my business clients and even with my international clients, even though I don't have to. I want my clients to be able to trust that I do everything in integrity, I follow the laws, that I have clear terms and conditions, that I don't use fake scarcity or unethical pressure tactics. And that actually makes them more likely to buy, not less, because they know that they can trust me. And the other side of this coin is that I get to work with clients who trust me and truly want what I offer. They are not inside of my system because I pressured them to buy something that they are not sure if they will even use. Is that less money for me? Maybe, but it's also less claims and happier clients with real results, and that's what matters more. Now, there's another piece to this trust equation that I already mentioned when talking about consistency, but I want to address it also separately, and that is visibility. You cannot build trust if people don't know that you exist. You can be the most trustworthy person in the world, but if you're hiding in the shadows, it doesn't matter. In my Dolce method, the second pillar is called visibility growth architecture. And this is where we design a strategic plan for getting you in front of your ideal clients in a way that builds authority and trust over time. And notice that I said strategic, because visibility isn't about being everywhere. It's not about posting randomly, like throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping that something sticks. No, it's about being intentional, being in the right places, saying the right things, positioning you as the go-to expert in your space. This might mean starting a podcast like this one. In fact, that is my recommended weekly signature content form. You may be asking why I specifically recommend podcasting as your weekly signature content, because it's a lot of work, so is it worth it? And that's a great question. Well, the numbers are staggering. As of 2025, there are over 500 million podcast listeners worldwide, and that number keeps growing. And yet, there are only about 4 million podcasts in existence. And here's the kicker, only around 500,000 of those are actually active. Now, compare that to over 114 million active YouTube channels, and you start to see this massive gap in the market. And get this, the number of podcasts is only 0.1% of the number of blogs out there. This is a huge opportunity that most entrepreneurs are completely ignoring. But we, inside of Dolce Société, we are not ignoring it. We are actually taking it and using it as in our benefit. People are tuning into podcasts more than ever. They listen while commuting, while exercising, while doing dishes. They're giving you their attention in a way that social media simply cannot compete with. A podcast listener spends 30, 40, sometimes 60 minutes with you. Compare that to a 7-second reel scroll that's forgotten in less than a minute. But here is what most people don't realize. 95% of podcasters give up before they even reach 10 episodes. Why is that? Because they don't see the long-term opportunity. They don't understand that podcasting builds a raving fan base of loyal listeners who actually convert to paying clients. They don't see how relatively easy it is to stand out if you just stick with it. Hello, consistency. And they don't have proper systems to make podcasting sustainable, which is exactly what we build inside the Dolce method. When you have the right setup and strategy, podcasting can take you just a couple of hours per week. And what you get in return is unmatched. Deep trust, genuine connection, and an audience that feel like they actually know you. This is why I tell all of my clients that having a podcast is one of the smartest moves that you can do in the trust economy. It's not just a marketing tool, it's a trust building engine. Podcast is the base of it all. It's proof, it's consistency, it's integrity, and it's visibility. Also, a podcast, it's your real voice. It's your real energy. It's the real you. Through podcast, you really let your audience get to know you. You get to deliver them value and you show them what it's really like to work with you. Now, your weekly signature content might also mean writing through leadership articles, maybe on Substack, Medium, or for your blog, or all of them. It might mean showing up on video or being a guest on other people's platforms. Whatever it looks like to you, the key is that it's consistent, it's strategic, and it positions you as someone worth paying attention to. One other thing that I want to address also in this trust economy is the importance of showing up live, connecting with your audience in real time, even delivering your programs live, or at least having a live component in your programs. Giving your audience the possibility to contact with you real time. So that means between launches, during launches, and inside of your programs. For example, my Dolce Société Group Advisory membership gives you access to an ecosystem platform where you can have all of your tech in one place without any extra monthly payment. It's included in the membership. So you can have your website hosted there as well as your CRM, your online courses, your memberships, and your communities. So if you're hosting a free or paid community for your clients and audience inside of Dolce Société platform, there is a feature that you can host live streams inside of your community. Now, this is an amazing feature that gives you an amazing advantage. You get to connect, build trust, build authority, and get to know your audience. And you get to be their go-to person. I absolutely recommend that you use this feature. In fact, this is where our Dolce Société membership live events are hosted. So I do the same thing inside of my own membership. That is how I connect with my members, and I really, really love it. And so do my members. So here's the truth. In the trust economy, the entrepreneurs who win are not necessarily the loudest. They are the ones who strategically show up with value, consistently, and prove over time that they can be trusted. So, let me give you some practical takeaways from this episode. Number 1, audit your proof. Look at your website, starting from the homepage, then your sales pages, your social media. How much evidence are you showing that you deliver results? Check it out. If it's thin, start collecting and sharing more testimonials and case studies. Add them all over your website. Create a pinned testimonial post to your social media. Contact your clients, ask them to write a testimonial, or if you can have a video interview with them, that's even better. Make this one of your priorities and create a system for collecting testimonials so that it works all the time and you will have new testimonials, fresh ones to publish all the time. Number 2 is create a consistency plan. How often are you showing up for your audience? Is it regular? Is it sustainable? Or if it's more like sporadic and launch dependent. I want you to build a rhythm that you can maintain. If you need help with this, I have a ready-to-wear content planning system inside of my Dolce Société that you can start to execute immediately when you can become a member to make it easier for you. I will drop the link in the show notes so you can see it if that's your missing piece. That absolutely helps. And number 3 is check your integrity. Are there any areas in your business where you're cutting corners or being less than fully transparent? I want you to clean those up and also communicate about it. It matters more than you think. And number 4, get visible strategically, not just post to post. Have an actual plan for how you're building authority and staying on top of the mind with your ideal clients. If you want help putting these pieces together, that's exactly what we do inside of the Dolce method and inside of my membership, Dolce Société. So to get started, the business blueprint that I have inside of my Dolce Société group advisory membership gives you the exact visibility strategy that works in this trust economy. It's definitely worth checking out. We build your visibility strategy from the ground up so that you're not just creating content into the void, but you're building actually a trust engine that attracts and converts with your dream clients. I will leave the link in the show notes where you can learn more. So thank you for listening to the Dolce Marketing podcast with me, Heidi Niemi. If this episode gave you clarity or sparked a new idea, feel free to share it or leave a review. And make sure that you follow the show so you don't miss the next one. And if you're curious about the bigger picture behind this work, visit my website at heidiniemi.co. I will see you next week.